What's going on, Instagram family? It's your guy Rogers 1906 in the building live for godly mindset motivation. Man, today's topic is crazy. It's a trap. It's a trap. It's a trap. That's what we've been seeing on the market, right? But this ain't that. This ain't what you think. But go ahead and do me a favor right now. Share this live with everybody that you know. Tell them Rogers 1906 is live for godly mindset motivation, where we go to God first and then we talk about securing the bag on stocks, options, and crypto. So go ahead and share this live right now. I will be posting and recording to my YouTube channel today, so make sure y'all tap into that. As you see, I got the glasses on, so y'all, you know what time it is. Go ahead and share this live right now. In fact, I need to make sure I drop this in the Chestnut Checkers group for the family. Hope they all are having a great day. We made a lot of money this morning. If you're in the CNC, drop some prayer hands with the money bags right now because God is taking care of us. Go ahead and do that for me real quick. I see y'all. Give us coins. I see y'all. Yeah, drop those prayer hands and money bags. If you're in the CNC, been blessed with some nice gains this morning, this week, this year, do that for me. Put that in the chat. All right. I got it in one channel so far. I'm gonna put it in the announcements, and then we're gonna get the rocking and rolling here. Y'all be careful too. Watch out for spammers, y'all. Watch out for spammers. That's not even what my message is about today. So just watch out for people out here trying to get you. If they ask you to send them money, tell them to get back. Get thee behind me, say, tell them that. So y'all, let's get to it, man. Today's topic is, and I hope you guys can hear me. I'm in two places, so let me adjust my microphone here. It's a trap. It's a trap. The background scripture I want to give you guys is Ecclesiastes chapter 4, verses 1 through 6. And I'm going to read this to you to give you context behind this trap that I'm talking about, right? And just stick with me. Just stick it out. Like, go ahead and share this because this is going to be some real stuff. Again, I observed all the oppression that takes place under the sun. I saw the tears of the oppressed with no one to comfort them. The oppressors have great power and their victims are helpless. So I concluded that the dead are better off than the living, but most fortunate of all are those who are not yet born. Somebody sounds depressed right here, right? For they have not seen all the evil that is done under the sun. Then I observed that most people are motivated to success because they envy their neighbors. But this too is meaningless, like chasing the wind. Fools fold their idle hands, leading them to ruin. And yet, better to have one handful with quietness than two handfuls with hard work and chasing the wind. Again, the text is it's a trap. So, what is the trap that we're talking about today? The trap of comparison, the trap of trying to be someone that you're not, trying to be exactly like somebody else, right? Be you. The message is be you. Don't compare yourself to anybody else. I always tell people, I'm not Armando Pantoja. I'm not Robert Croak. We're all different people. We all have a different ministry, a different calling, but we're all trying to do one thing, and that is to help each and every one of you, ladies and gentlemen, win at life, investing, business, entrepreneurship, whatever it is. We have to understand that comparison is everything that is far away from God. When we start comparing ourselves, I don't care if it's even with gains from certain plays, right? Oh, I'm doing this, but I want you to know that this is an update, right? This is not to compare. This is not to compete. It's so easy to fall into this trap of competition with other people because of this, what? Social media, right? So we have to be very mindful and conscientious of how we utilize this. This is our opportunity to celebrate each other. In this life, it is you versus you. It's me versus me. So I want you to say that to yourself. It's me versus me. It's me versus me. This is your message to yourself today. It's a trap to compare yourself to anybody else. anybody else. So we don't want to make it to the top of anything. Like most athletes, they get all of this money, right? And then they have this lack of fulfillment of joy because they're too busy trying to be like somebody else, like Mike. I want to be like Mike. I just had to throw that in there. Everybody wants to be like Michael Jordan, right? But we have to understand everybody got their own game. Penny had his own game. Allen Iverson had his own game. Kobe had his own game. They may have looked at Michael Jordan, but the goal was not to be him. It was to be better than him at the game. But then there was still an element that was missing. It was the element within themselves. It was for them to realize that I have to be better today, myself, than I was yesterday for myself. So aim to be yourself. Be higher today than you were yesterday or the day before. Your gains today are better than the gains that you had yesterday, right? Michelle said, love yourself like God, right? In fact, love yourself like God loves you, right? Because the last thing that we want is to be chasing the wind. What is the point? What is at the end of the wind? Nothing but air. Nothing but air. So we have to watch out for this trap of comparison. Okay. Yes, we all want to live good lives and even have nice things. Some of you may want to post that Lambo. Some of you may want to post that Rolly. Some of you may want to post that mansion that you're living in, but you'll never see me post my house. You'll never see me do it, right? You'll never see me post all the fancy whatever. In fact, it's probably rare that you'll even see me walk out the house with my Gucci slides. I'll probably be in some Hoka flip flops or something like that. But is it really anybody's business what you got? It don't even matter. It don't matter because at the end of the day, all of this material stuff is going to fade away. So ask yourself sometimes too, if this is what you're posting, if this is all about the bread, does this have to be my selling point for me to win at life? Or is it just me advancing from the level that I was on yesterday? So it's important that right now we reorient ourselves in a direction that is always in alignment with the will and the word of God. Okay. Don't set yourself up for the trap of trying to be like somebody else, or even for the matter of fact, being better than anybody else, right? Don't set yourself up for that. Just set yourself up to be greater today than you were on yesterday. May God bless each and every one of you. Before we get into the stocks, let's have a word of prayer. Heavenly Father, Lord God, we thank you for what we have within ourselves. God, we thank you that you have equipped us to be greater today than we were yesterday. Father, we thank you that we will not fall into the trap of comparison, God. We understand that we cannot be anybody else other than who you called us to be. So, God, give us the mindset to do the right things, to have the right voice, and make the right choices. Father, we love you with all of our hearts, our mind, our soul. May you bless everybody in the name of Jesus, I pray. I love you, God. We love you. We thank you. Amen. Amen. So, y'all, this is just the beginning. I'm trying to get my glasses going. Give me 1 second here because today is going to be a great day. Today is going to be a wonderful day. My glass is tripping on me, y'all. I just need them to pop up on the screen because we will turn this thing around. But before we get to the bag, do me a favor, share this live with everybody you know. For whatever reason, my glasses aren't pulling up. Maybe it's not charged up enough. Go ahead and share this live. I got a whole bunch to cover, so I'm going to switch mics, see if I can get my glasses to charge until it's time for us to turn it up a notch on that end. All right, let's see here. Can everybody hear me okay? Hope you guys can hear me. Hope you guys can hear me. Okay. So real quick, before we talk about these stock picks, I want to give you guys the glasses suit me though. I appreciate that. I want to talk about a few things to focus on the economy. So last week I told you guys I got a new book, How to Listen When the Market Speaks. I'm going to tell you, this thing is game changing because it helps us understand why we're having these issues and inflation that we're having. Okay. So real quick, I'm going to say something about it, and I don't want to spoil the book, but the sound is muffled. Okay. Maybe I should put my glasses back on. Oh, all right. Hold on. Again, the book is called How to Listen When the Market Speaks. How to Listen When the Market Speaks. Maybe the sound should be better now. How to Listen When the Market Speaks. Okay, by Lawrence G. McDonald. All right, so as I go on, I wanted to tell you next week is going to be very, very important. We've got Jerome Powell speaking next week on May the 1st. That is Wednesday. The Fed, they meet Tuesday and Wednesday. And I'll tell you, this is going to be huge because we're going to see if there's going to be a skip, a hike, or a pause. Okay. Then on May the 3rd, next Friday, we have the unemployment rate. That's also going to be something that goes into the decision-making process as to what in the world Jerome Powell and the Fed are going to do. Okay. So that's something to look at for next week. Then the following week, May 14th and 15th, you got PPI and CPI. These are all important pieces of information that will be used to determine the inflation rates. We want inflation to really come down, but it's just a joke. I mean, they're printing the money, but I'm gonna keep it right there. Now, what I wanted to say about this book is part of the reason why inflation is so high is that China decided to sell off a lot of government bonds. They tarnished a lot of relationships with a lot of companies. The days of cheap labor as we know it are over. As a result, inflation went up. Bonds, people buying bonds has gone down. This is why we go to treasurydirect.gov. We buy those Series I and Series EE bonds if we choose to. That's not financial advice. I cannot tell you what to buy or sell, but I have some. Again, that's treasurydirect.gov. The more bonds that are being bought up, the lower inflation goes. All right. I don't know if anybody's talking about that, but that's important. You need to know it. All right. So let's talk about what I'm looking at on the stock market. As I do this, I really wanted to turn my glasses around, but it's all tripping. But thank God for the internet, right? This will be posted on my YouTube channel, so you will be able to go check this out. First things first, I want to talk about Datadog. DDOG is the ticker. All right, let's get that pulled up here. I'm gonna have flawless trading on my YouTube channel today when you go check it out. Again, ticker DDOG, Datadog. Now, Datadog, it looked like it was going to run really well this morning. In fact, it did. It's up about 4.3% on the day. I wonder if I could hit this button. Is it going to work? Okay, maybe not. So Datadog looked like it was going to run, and then it hit a small wall of resistance. I have a target of about 128.26 on Datadog. Now, with a few technology tickers in play today, for I think that we kind of struggle a little bit on DDOG, but Datadog has earnings coming up on May the 7th. And historically, they have done very well on earnings. I think that they're going to continue to do extremely well. So I have a target of 147.87 by the end of the year. These are the MetaView glasses. MetaView, they come in this cool little case, right? Ray-Ban. But at any rate, Datadog is going to be something to watch. All right. If you zoom out to that 1 day time frame, we did have price activity going to the upside today and hit a key level resistance at 129.46. But if we break above 134.29 on DDOG, this thing is going to run. Okay. It's going to run hard. Now, another one that I wanted to drop on you guys is something that I talked about almost 3 weeks ago. I think that many. I like doing that, but hey, that's a whole nother story. 3 weeks ago, I mentioned GE, General Electric, right? Now, my dad actually put me on this thing. And I'm going to tell you, today they had earnings and they went crazy. I had a price target of 160. We broke that price target on GE. If you zoom out to the 1 day time frame continuity is very, very bullish. We're just at a small wall of resistance. We break 162.03. This thing is going to run. I have a target of 182 within the next 2 months. That is a huge gain. Very huge gain. Why do I like GE so much, right? They split up into 3 components. This is now GE Aerospace. They're calling for 191 by the end of the year. Everything on this thing, the truth, the whole nine, is telling us it's getting ready to go Crazy. So I'll see 165 in the very short term, 182 in the next 30 to 60 days. Yes, that's even with inflation. Now, there's one caveat I want to throw in there with Boeing having earnings this week. It's a little volatile. I think you even have Raytheon Technologies today. So it may have a small amount of volatility and a little bit of choppiness on the way, but I think that this is going to be a strong play for 2024. You can also make some great moves on any other aerospace division, Lockheed Martin, ticker LMT, and a few others in that same area. Now, I also like Spotify. Now, Spotify ran very well today. Spotify did have earnings and they beat. And I said that Spotify needs to trade and hold above 313. We've tested it twice today. It's at 312.21 right now. Our next target on Spotify is $320.26. And I think it's going to run. I just had an alert on Taiwan Semiconductor. But I do believe Spotify will continue its dominant uptrend for most of the year. Next target, if we break that, is going to be in the 300s up to 382.17. And it is a strong buy by most analysts, right? So I love Spotify for the remainder of 2024. All right. In fact, I highly recommend, if you haven't, go to Spotify, check out the Crypto Trends podcast with Tall Guy Tycoon and Robert Croak. Man, you will be very blessed by that. We'll talk more about that later. Also, if you haven't already gotten your virtual tickets or your actual physical tickets to come and see us down at Robert's event in St. Petersburg, Florida, shoot me a DM with the word Tampa. I'll make sure you get the link and a discount to join us either virtually or in person this Friday, Saturday. All right. So that being said, back to what I was talking about. So I'm liking Spotify for the long term this year. All right. Got another alert on Taiwan Semiconductor, but I don't know if it's sweet or not. Let's see. This ain't on my list, but since it's popping up and my glass is tripping, I'm going to have to tell you about it. So Taiwan Semiconductor broke 133. This is a key psychological level to the upside for Taiwan Semi. Right now, it actually looks like it kind of wants to pull back. But if you zoom out a little bit, you got a very small short squeeze, right? But I wouldn't chase it right now. Wait for the pullback. Look for it to get back up. All right. So that wasn't on my list, but I'm just telling you what I see. All right. The next one that was on my list that I did want to talk to y'all about is none other than SoundHound. All right. I like saying that because it makes me think about Roadhouse, right? On the Griffins. What is that? I can't even think of the name of the show with Peter Griffin and all them. Family Guy. That's it. So I like SoundHound right now. And I chose to take a very safe approach with SoundHound, right? So I like having shares of SoundHound right now at these prices. So I'm going to tell you what I did, and I'll actually tell you what the CNC is doing, okay? I bought 500 shares of SoundHound. I'm up 13% on these 500 shares. As you know, for every 100 shares, that is worth one option contract. So I'm basically trading 5 option contracts without having an option. Now, the cool thing about what I'm doing versus trading an option on this is I don't have to worry about implied volatility. I don't have to worry about the Greeks or none of that. So I decided to take a safe approach on SoundHound because I do believe it will get back to $10 or $11 sometime early 2025, maybe late this year. But when the AI bubble bursts, SoundHound will be one that will print for you, okay? So what is the CNC doing, right? Now, I'm going to give 2 shout-outs to 2 individuals that actually were bold enough to contribute to the CNC today and drop signals on SoundHound. First one is to my guy, Neil B., also known as Neil the Notary, right? He dropped a signal on SoundHound, $4 call, expired May the 10th. Great job, Neil. I appreciate you doing that. Also, I want to give a shout-out to my guy, Brandon Borrell. Big Borrell, I appreciate you very much. He dropped a signal on SoundHound today in the CNC. This one is the, sorry. Can't see. No, just playing. $4.50 call expiring January 16, 2026. Very low average cost. Great play. B. Burrell. I appreciate you for contributing to the Chestnut Checkers group on SoundHound. But again, I'm very bullish on SoundHound going to the long term. I was looking for proxies for SoundHound, and there isn't one, right? Other than maybe AI itself. What is it? I forget the name of the one everybody else likes that Armando talked about. I can't think of take two. Can't think of the name of it. But it's another one I don't like. But I love SoundHound. I just hate answering questions about it because the chart tells us everything that we need to know. So if you don't know how to read a chart, shoot me a DM, the word discount. I'm going to give you a link today so you can learn how to read charts using the flawless trading system. Thank you, OZKO123, because you knew what it was. I do not like Twilio. So that makes me the only other proxy that I can think of in comparison to SoundHound. But SoundHound is much more dominant, in my opinion, because they have NVIDIA tucked away in their pocket. All right. So I like SoundHound a lot. And it has been running this week. All right. So, and that's okay. Armando knows how I feel about Twilio, right? He knows how I feel about it. Also, I wanted to talk about something else, right? This morning, General Electric, they had a very cool earnings beat today. All right. And as a result, the ticker has been running, but then you got a couple other proxies that you can play. Oh, goodness gracious. A couple of the proxies that you can play. You got Ford, you've got General Motors itself, but then I think that with Tesla having earnings today, if Tesla performs well, we're going to see GE and Ford continue to move. There was a lot of chatter about the EV sector and their sales this morning. And I think that General Motors will continue its dominant uptrend. Okay. So I'm opening that chart for you right now. GM is currently at 45.51. It did gap up. It's at a key level of resistance. Depending on what happens with Tesla, it may pull back down. Okay. If Tesla misses. Now, Tesla surprises and beats expectations. General Motors is going to run over $50+ per share. Telling you now. All right. So give yourself time if you decide that you want to play General Motors. But I like Ford as a nice proxy to General Motors as well as a proxy to Tesla today. Ford is sitting at about $12.94. They also have earnings in tomorrow. Actually, tomorrow they have earnings, and it's expected that they likely will beat. Okay, so just keep an eye on Ford. What I do like about Ford is that the shares are cheap and they do pay dividends. So that's another cool thing about them. Now, as I talk about these electronic vehicle sector companies or what have you, I say electronic vehicles, automotive companies. There is one company that I think will also do very well in the long term. This might be a surprise to some of you. And it's going to be, this one is not available on Robinhood. It is available on SoFi. If you need a referral to SoFi, shoot me a DM. I'll make sure you get there. You click the link in my bio, or you can go on to Thinkorswim or Schwab. You should be able to buy this. But I'm talking about Santander, ticker SAN. Okay. It had a nice run pre-market today, shot up to a little over $5 and some change. Right now, it's sitting at about 474. It's up 1.72%. Long term, I think this thing is going to trade well over $12, $13 a share. Analysts actually say $6 by the end of the year. I think it's going to double. GM uses them a lot for financing. As people start back buying vehicles, they're going to use this service, Santander. And I think that Santander's a sleeper, just like Ally once was. I think that they're going to be the next Ally. So keep your eye on ticker SAN. I think they have earnings in the next 7 days. That's next Tuesday, April the 30th. But I decided today to start opening up a position for shares on Santander. So I bought 50 of them. I'm going to add another 50 more probably tomorrow. But I really like this company a lot. Okay. Also, want to give you guys a possible short squeeze to the upside on a ticker that I'm watching. I actually just signaled it not too long ago before I started this live to the CNC. And that is Square, the Cash App, ticker SQ, right? Now, I think that this is a very short squeeze. We're probably going to test somewhere around $75, $76. We'll break the 200-day EMA on the 65-minute time frame, but we zoom out, we'll see where we've got a lot of resistance. But at that break, we possibly will go to 77.66, which is a good target price for Square. And then it's going to reject. I notice a lot of insider selling on ticker SQ, which is, again, the Cash App. And it looks like it wants to reverse. There's a buy signal on the one-day time frame to hold 9. So I like the setup on ticker SQ for a short squeeze and then a quick retracement back down before or after earnings on May the 2nd, which happens to be next Thursday. So secure the bag. Now, I'll tell you, it may run past then. It may keep running up to that date, even past this week, because on Tuesday, PayPal is going to be reporting earnings. So Square and PayPal, they're kind of like proxies towards one another. So I'm liking this setup for both of them. PayPal looks extremely bullish as well. They did beat last quarter. PayPal is currently sitting at $64. There's a buy signal all over this thing. It's kind of consolidated, but the truth, which I love so much, has a buy signal on the one-day time frame. And I always tell people the truth will set you free. So I do like PayPal. Upside target on PayPal is somewhere around $66.34. Again, it's $64.42. Possible short squeeze up until Tuesday next week. But this is going to be a company you might want to watch going into next week. Also, there are a few other companies I'm watching, but before I do that, if you haven't already shared this live, I want to talk about the tickers that have the most short interest, right? I'll tell you what that is. All right, so the short interest, that means people are shorting these stocks, selling it, making money off of put options, right? The two biggest ones, of course, have been Tesla, and the second, Apple. They've been shorting these two companies, which means they're selling puts or buying puts on them and making money, right? But I want to tell you, Apple, they have earnings next Tuesday, April 30th. Amazon has earnings next Tuesday, April 30th. Then this week, we've got Meta. Then we've got Microsoft. We've got Google, all on Thursday, April the 25th. Then turn around on Friday, we've got ExxonMobil reporting earnings that morning. And then today, Tesla. So a lot of people want to know, what are we doing with Tesla? All right. I can't tell you what to buy or sell. Can't tell you what to do. I can't even tell you what's going to happen with Tesla. What I can say is that today there's been a lot of buying to the upside on Tesla. I'm going to take a look at something that I call, actually, I don't call it anything, but it's called Bookmap, right? Bookmap is a new program that I've been using. So I'm going to open that up and I'm going to take a look at Tesla. And what it does is it tells me the buyers are selling, like, are they buying, doing puts, calls, like what's going on with it? So as I'm taking a look right now, Tesla's had a lot of buying today, and it's still kind of choppy, but there's also been quite a bit of selling. So I think that there's a strong possibility that those puts do become profitable, but it could possibly already be priced in. But I did also see that that new Model 3 that Tesla plans to release is faster than a Porsche and probably a lot better. So if there's something unique that Elon Musk says today, expect Tesla to go on a run, 160, 170, could even go up to 180. Who knows? But don't get caught sleeping at the wheel unless you're on autopilot, but no pun intended. Anyways, don't get caught sleeping at the wheel. This may be one that's better to play after and catch the trend, or take the risk for the biscuit and straddle, in my opinion. All right. So me personally, I'm going to play both sides of the fence on Tesla, give myself time on calls for the long term, also get some puts in the short term. All right. So actually my puts are both long term as well. So I'm out to June 2021. June 21st, 2024 on Tesla. And I think that that's probably where it's going to be. So as I'm looking at Tesla right now, the buyers actually have had most of the control today, keeping it above 145. These are likely market makers, but I'm probably, like I said, going to stick with the straddle. All right, there's been a lot of short interest on Apple and Tesla, so should be quite interesting. Okay, so jumping back over to my chart again, y'all make sure that y'all go check out my YouTube channel. I'm going to post this entire with the chart analysis, the whole nine on it. Again, my glasses for whatever are tripping today, so it is what it is. But going back here today, if Tesla breaks above 148.75 and after hours and holds, it's gonna run again. That 160 PPS is looking really, really attractive. Okay, now if Tesla sells off, it's possible it can go back to close to 118 or even 110. So that's what I'm looking at. That's what I'm playing. All right. Now, I did want to talk about a few other things you want to put on your radar. Again, I'm not signaling these that I'm about to mention. It's about 7 more tickers. And I've got 4 more after that, maybe 5, 6. I got a lot of them. Anyways, triple M, 3M. 3M. Okay. I like 3M. I think it's going to start selling off soon. So you may be able to grab a short-term put. Time frame continuity is very bullish on 3M at the moment. But today we see it holding right at the 10-day exponential moving average. Earnings are coming up on April the 30th, next Tuesday. And we could see a little bit of selling off going into next Tuesday on 3M. So great opportunity to watch for puts. Now Tesla's selling off. All right, the next company I want to talk about is AMD. Everybody always asks me about AMD. All right, so AMD on the 65-minute does have a buy signal. It's at 153. It bounced off of a key level of support, like around 146, and has continued to go to the upside. Okay, I do like AMD for the long-term play, but short term, it's extremely volatile. Now, AMD, they also have earnings next week. And depending on what happens next week, it could be a game changer for the semiconductors if AMD outperforms and beats expectations. Now, the prior quarter, they did not do that. So that does make me a little skeptical. Now, if you look at the 1-day time frame, it appears to be establishing a buy signal using the secret sauce, which is something in the flawless trading system. And I'll tell you that it is oversold, which means that it has to go up. All right, so it has to go up at some point. In fact, it may actually have filled a gap or getting ready to fill a gap here. Once it touches 156.75, if it continues to go up and breaks 158.66, it is broken fair value. The trend is reversed and it's going to the upside. All right. Now I'll tell you that Bookmap app was something that I was using and that I'm still using, but it is a nightmare to set up. Okay. It's extremely frustrating, right? There are things that I like. I love the thing, and it's very expensive. Okay. I did the 1-year subscription, and I'll just tell you, I did have to make my money back in 1 day. So it's pretty expensive. Okay. And it's also difficult to set up. At any rate, moving on. Keep your eye on AMD. The longer term play is going to put you in the winner's circle. $201.42 should be a very realistic price target for you on AMD. This is a strong buy, okay? And understand this, you choose an expensive play, you're going to get an expensive result. So closer to the money, the better, all right? Not financial advice, of course. Also, I'm starting to kind of vibe with Airbnb, ticker ABNB. Now, why am I talking about this now? Earnings are on May the 7th, 2 weeks away. It's going to be in the afternoon, but I think that this is still a good opportunity to start thinking about positioning yourself right now. Airbnb, in my opinion, it needs to break above $162.96. It's looking pretty likely, even though there's quite a bit of consolidation on the 1-day time frame. But I think it's one of those situations you never have to get ready if you stay ready, right? So I'm thinking about getting a position this week, not today, but this week for Airbnb. Okay, so take it with a grain of salt, but I like the setup on the chart. Also, Shopify, ticker SHOP, has established a buy signal on the 1-day time frame. I think 2 months out, this thing is going to fly to the sky. Earnings are on May the 8th, which is in 2 weeks as well. But there's a buy signal on the 1-day time frame, so we got a nice short squeeze. I have an $80 price target within the next week. Within the next week on Shopify. So again, I like calls on Shopify. I'm actually jumping those tomorrow morning. I just need the day to pass by and Tesla to report earnings, and then we catch the wave and ride that bad boy from there. All right. Also, Uber. Uber everywhere. All right, Uber. I think that they're going to do exceptionally well for earnings as well. If there's any discussion of robo taxis and a partnership with Uber by Tesla today, I think we could see that momentum start to pick up earlier, but we need to be positioned for Uber past May the 8th. All right, that's when they report earnings again. Currently, time frame continuity is only bullish on the daily, so it's too risky to swing, but it has some good day trading momentum. It's at $70.74. Currently, I have a $73.80 price target on Uber going into next week if we can hold above this current level. It's almost overbought, and it has reached a key level of resistance on the day. So I wouldn't expect much from it today. But again, the long-term position could be very profitable. Not in yet, but watching closely. All right. Also, I want to mention another proxy in the automotive sector, Honda Motor Cars, ticker HMC. Would help if I typed the right ticker in. Ticker HMC, it's sitting at $34.55. It's been pretty much flat on the day. Now, considering we've had issues with international trade, Honda may kind of be struggling just a little bit. But when earnings are reported, they talk about deliveries, vehicles, and so forth. We could see Honda get back to $35, $36 and possibly stay right there. But that's an opportunity, again, to position yourself. Now, this company does pay dividends. It's about 20.25% dividends, so it's probably safer with shares. Last quarter was good for them. The quarter before was not. They kind of play a seesaw thing, so it'd be quite interesting to see if they beat. I'm expecting them to beat earnings since the expectation is so low. All right. And the last one, of course, is Roblox. Now, Roblox did have some momentum today, and that momentum had heavy volume early in the morning and then kind of flattened out. We need for Roblox to break and hold above $36.97, and then we could set $38.53 as a realistic target. In the short term, we zoom out, we could probably go a little bit higher, but we are below that 200-day EMA. Earnings are in 16 days. That would put us out to May the 9th. On Roblox, ticker is RBLX. And again, the earnings expectation is for them to have a loss. So all they got to do is beat it a little bit to beat expectations and the EPS, and then it will take off. So I'm curious once again to see what happens with Roblox. But seeing the way that kids have been playing this game, it gets on my nerves. If you're a parent, I'm sure it gets on yours too, but it is an easy, fun thing for some kids to play on Roblox. So I do like Roblox for earnings on May the 9th. All right, so let me give you some signals. I've gave you so many trades, so many tickers to look at. So let's talk about a few plays. Okay. Now the CNC already got these. Again, my mindset is already like 2, 3, maybe 5 months down the line. All right. So I'm looking at one ticker that if you're an entrepreneur and you're not using this, now's the time to get on board. Get you a website, right? And the best place to do that is Wix.com. I'm not saying that because I'm sponsored by them, but hey, you can go check out www.rogers1906.com. But I'll say that Wix has earnings coming up on May the 15th, and I like the $125 call expiring June 21st. Now, the average cost for that play was around $8.90. It's not too far off right now. Right now, it's about $9.25. But I think that this is one that will pump. This will actually trade over $148, in my opinion, going up to earnings, and even after it, I think it may go higher than that. All right, so Wix is a site that a lot of entrepreneurs are using to develop their websites. Even business and corporations are using Wix because it's easy to program your website. So again, I'm signaling, not financial advice. This is what I'm doing. So go look at the chart, see if you want to do it, do what you do. $125 call expiring June 21st 2024. The next signal I'm going to drop on you, again, the CNC already has these. If you haven't already, if you go to my website, you could join the CNC today. We'd love to have you come and be a part of our community. You'll get 50% off all of my classes. Also, you get free virtual access to any of our Mondo and the CNC's events. So we'd love to have you be part of our community. Also, we've got channels in there for crypto, real estate, life insurance, and so many other things. Now, this next one, and the ticker is WIX, Wix, WIX. Now, the next one, I'm a little shaky on, but I like this one, okay? I don't like going to the store. My wife loves this place, but I get anxiety every time I'm there because it's so junky and unorganized because everybody being there shopping. I'm talking about Ross, ticker ROST. Okay. But I do think that with the amount of business and traffic that this company has, that they're going to beat and exceed earnings. I don't know if they have an issue with shrink, which is people stealing and stuff like that. I mean, maybe they do. I don't know. At least not at the one where I live. But I bought the $135 call expiring June 21st, 2024. Average cost was about $5.50. Currently it's down a little bit, so you can get a little discount. It's about $5.30 right now. But I think that this one will beat, and the implied volatility will go up as we get close to earnings on May the 16th. Okay, again, the two signals I drop is on ticker WIX and ROST. All right. So also, I don't have signals on these, but put John Deere on your radar that same week, May the 17th, and Take Two that same week as well, ticker TTWO. All right. So May the 16th in the afternoon. Now, before I get to the crypto, I do want to talk about the miners. Okay. I'm going to tell you what I'm doing. Once again, I touched on it a little bit. But again, I just want to be clear and transparent with you. All right, so we just had the Bitcoin halving last Friday. It was a success. And usually after the Bitcoin halving takes place, everything starts to move after it, right? It's all a delayed reaction. I always tell you guys about delayed gratification. This is where it comes into play. All right, so what I did is I took gains on all of my mining options, right? I'm crazy, but I practiced risk management, walked away with gains, no losses. Then what I decided to do was load up on shares. 100 shares of CleanSpark, 100 or more on Riot, 200 on Mara, 100 on HUD. And then I bought SoundHound, and I'm also holding 100 shares of IBIT. Now, I had about 50 shares of Coinbase. Then I had a few shares of MicroStrategy as well. I will get back in those, but I want to make sure that my timing is absolutely flawless on my entry right here, okay? But I can tell you that the safest thing I could have done was reposition in these plays right here. I also want to tell you that I did signal a play on CleanSpark just a few minutes ago. Once again, before we got started with this live, to the CNC, and I'm looking for CleanSpark to go ahead and bust through the roof on $23 to $25. Right now, CleanSpark, where are you? CLSK. It's at $20.79. Y'all, it is not a game. We started looking at this thing when it was $3 in July 2023. And I'm going to tell you, man, this is absolutely beautiful. So that's the miners. I'm going to cover my crypto plays and I'll answer a few questions. I already see somebody wants to know about Meta. I'll talk about it a little bit. But right now, let's talk about crypto. All right. So I'm still holding Bitcoin. Yes, I bought the dip and had more. I'm still up. I bought Ethereum, still holding. Guess what? I bought more Ethereum name service, ENS, bought more Solana. I always buy the dip on crypto and I just set it and forget it, just like the people when they used to put that turkey in that little thing or whatever. Holding XRP, haven't bought any more, just holding it, holding some XLM, bought more Proppy in the dip, bought more Jupiter, bought more Rio. Added just a small amount to Nakamoto Games, that's NAKA, and also finally got in some veracity, right? Now, a lot of you always ask me, where can I buy this? Where can I buy that? I cover this every week because somebody always asks me. I want you to go to www.coinmarketcap.com. Okay. I'm actually doing it right now, coinmarketcap.com. Once you go to coinmarketcap.com, there's a search button in the right hand side of the screen. You could type veracity in, right? That's VRA. V as in Victor, R as in Robert, A as in Alpha. All right. And then it's going to tell you the rank and the ticker symbol, the crypto symbol. Then where it says markets, it's going to be right next to the sign that says chart. Click that, tells you everywhere you can buy it. So, for example, Veracity can be bought on KuCoin, Gate.io, Uniswap, and Crypto.com. Crypto.com. All right. So that's just a few things that I want to put out there for you guys. So if you're ever looking to where you can buy crypto, go to coinmarketcap.com. All right. So let me answer just a few questions. Then we'll get you guys out of here. Somebody already asked me about Meta. Meta's not on my list. I did say last week that Meta and Netflix can have the possibility to save the market. Well, we see that Netflix didn't come to the rescue. I don't know if Meta will either. I'll tell you that I've been watching the buyers and sellers on Meta right now. Today, there's been about $395,000 spent on buys for Meta and about $46,000 on sales for Meta. Excuse me. So there's a lot of uncertainty there. Again, this may be one I just trade the trend, day trade it, get in and get out. I'm just not comfortable playing earnings on Meta. I think it'll do well. They've got a lot of great things about them. They got these things, the Meta View with Ray-Ban. They've got the verified badges. So they're going to be able to show that they're generating a profit. They're also going to be able to show that they're more active users. And as I'm talking about this, the buying just went up to $1.1 million for Meta. So it's moving, but I'm just not grooving with it right now. But trade at your own risk, right? You don't have to do anything because I said it. I just want you to make sure that you practice risk management and that you trade the trend. And that's what my courses teach you how to do. But I do like to set up. So I'll give you some price targets real quick. On Meta, we'll look at this on a 4-hour chart. And just looking at the 4-hour chart, it has a lot of resistance right now as it touches that $500 price per share. It's actually $500.94. Usually it bounces down off of that level of resistance. It's showing a lot of consolidation as we go into earnings on Thursday, or is it tomorrow? Actually, it's tomorrow. Earnings are tomorrow. But it is oversold. It looks like it wants to run, but not a lot of volume, not enough to make it do what it do. All right. But most everything right now is SPY video. What is that? SPY and NVIDIA. So that's where we've been killing the game right now. And that's where my focus has been. So I'm just day trading the trend and making that my friend and going from there. Okay. All right. So do you think it's going to have a big dip? It really just depends. Again, with earnings, it's always a high level of uncertainty. Okay, regardless if they switch the name from Facebook to Meta, whatever, that's mute. All right, but what happens with their EPS, the amount of active users? In fact, they're going to talk about this whole TikTok thing. That's all goes into play with what happens with Meta. All right, so somebody asked me to look at INDI or Wolf. Now, Wolf is actually WULF, if I'm not mistaken. Let's look at INDI real quick. Don't know what that is. Indie Semiconductor. This is a small cap semiconductor company. I like this 4-hour setup, even though it is below the 200, the 50, the 20, and the 10-day exponential moving average. There's a buy signal on the truth as I look at the 4-hour time frame, but it looks like a trap. It looks like a trap. All right, so I wouldn't be too quick thinking about short-term gains with ticker INDI because it has been on a downtrend. The prior earnings were very bad. There was 9% loss. Now, I don't know if they're going to benefit from getting any funds from the Build Back Better America semiconductor thing that Joe Biden has. But by the looks of things, this thing is The Walking Dead at this point. Okay, it's hard to compete with On Semiconductors, hard to compete with Taiwan Semiconductors, hard to compete with AMD, and it is extremely difficult to compete with Nvidia. All right, so this company, it's on a struggle bus right now, but maybe long term we could see this thing back to $6.86, but it's going to take several months for it to get there. It had an extremely large amount of selling volume, and my friend is just not looking good. All right. Now let's talk about TeraWolf. Again, this is back into the mining plays. Okay. TeraWolf is on fire. It's at a level of resistance right now. Time frame continuity is bullish. TeraWolf probably by next week will be at $3.17. Okay. Maybe in a week or two after that, we'll probably see a break resistance at 385, come up with a new all-time high. And actually, I wouldn't say all-time, but it probably could start going back to where it once was. The all-time high on TeraWolf is actually $43.42. That happened back in November of 21. And guess what happened around that time? The reaction to the Bitcoin halving. So maybe we'll get back to about $43. I've been looking at those mining companies to see if they've increased their mining capacities by opening more facilities in other places. So TeraWolf, I know they've expanded just a little bit, not as much as CleanSpark, but I think that they will be able to survive the storm and be able to pay their bills. So it's one to watch for sure, and you could see that one recover. Now, if you ask me about BTBT, I will not be able to say the same thing because I think that company is trash. All right. So everybody wants to know about Tesla. We just talked about that. I'm straddling the fence on Tesla. Look at PDYN. All right, PDYN. All right, so PDYN is fairly new. It looks like it's trying to recover, but it's actually quite bearish. It did have a positive change of character to go back to possibly $1.83. This is a manufacturing company. Honestly, it doesn't look like something that I would play. It just had IPO back in April of 24. That's this year. It popped up and it sold off, and it possibly could recover. It had a high of $3.15, but this is not the one for me. All right. So I don't like PDYN, and I highly recommend that you pay close attention to the chart if you plan to trade it. This is probably something better for long-term investing, not necessarily the short term. Okay. How about Astera Labs? Let's take a look at it. So right now, Astera Labs, ticker ALAB, is trading at $72.79. It had a 10.64% jump today. Last earnings were February 21st, 2024. That's my chapter's Founders Day. That's what's up. Anyways, the next one is on May the 7th. And it appears as though that this company is overbought. It possibly could retrace, but it's just hitting resistance. It may start to actually consolidate at these current prices. Just looking at what I call the roller coaster ride of the secret sauce, it wants to pull back just a hair and possibly find some support around $70.78. Now, this is a semiconductor company, but it's just at a key level of resistance. However, if we see On Semi run, we see NVIDIA run, we see AMD run, we see Super Microcomputer run, which I don't think that's going to happen. Then we could possibly see a lab pickup. Again, this may be better off for a long-term play. All right. ACLS. All right, ACLS. If I can zoom out here. All right, ACLS. All right, ACLS has a sell signal on the 65-minute time frame. Looks like it wants to come down. It had a bull trap. It's overbought today, not in the uptrend today. It looks like it's going to come back down to possibly test $93.85. It could consolidate. No, don't know if it's going to hold up, but it could. If it does, I'd like to see it stick right around $96 and let that be the prior daily low going into tomorrow. But right now, ACLS is oversold. It wants to run, but it is, once again, a trap. It's a trap. So don't fall for the okie doke. We need all the semiconductors to follow the lead of the big dog in town, NVIDIA, and then, of course, AMD and super microcomputer. All right. Now, lastly, I'm going to talk about SoFi. They have earnings on Monday. And I want to thank Tano PR 787 for asking about it. I'm getting the chart pulled up. I have to turn off my screen here. So as I'm looking at this, SoFi, it has so much potential. I want to first start by saying that I like this company a lot. They were profitable the last quarter, and I think that they can do it again. All right. As Britney Spears used to say, hit me, baby, one more time. That's what I want to see SoFi do. I think having shares, having options, long term positions will do extremely well. It's actually on the uptrend today, but it's still a bounce. We got a buy signal on the truth. We got a buy signal on the secret sauce. And we got a buy signal on the relative strength index. So again, I like SoFi long-term positions, grabbing leaps, 2026 plays, grabbing shares. This is a good company. Okay. So I'm expecting a beat. The estimate is for a small beat. I'm hoping they have a surprise and go crazy. All right. Again, earnings are going to be scheduled for April the 29th. That's next Monday. And I think that this will be one that will have a lot of momentum to the upside in the long term. Okay. Now, I am going to digress on the questions. A lot of you guys want to know about Matterport. We got in there early. Armando, he gave us the seed. I planted that bad boy. You played it. I played it. We made a lot of money on Matterport. Is it done? Maybe. All right. But I am out. Okay. I'm completely out of it. I just think that you always buy the rumor, you sell the news. The news has been announced, they're getting bought out. I'm out. All right. So go take a look at the chart, trade the trend. Shout out to the CNC for identifying, grabbing those puts, and you made money on the downside today. So that's what we do. That's what we want to do. We want to equip you with what you need to be successful on the market. Once again, I want to invite you to join Armando, myself, and Robert at Robert's event, The Money Mindset, down in St. Petersburg, Florida. You can join us virtually. DM me the word Tampa, or you can comment below or comment on my story. I'll shoot you the link. I also put a link in my story. I'd love to see you guys there, either in person or virtually this weekend, right? This is not a CNC event. This is Robert's event, and we are more than happy to go and support our friend for the money mindset, okay? So I'll be covering some pretty cool stuff. You don't want to miss it. Also, if you haven't already, go to www.rogers1906.com. Join us in the CNC. And if you want to learn how to be a profitable trader, DM me the word discount. I'll send you a discount to the Flawless Trading System today. Hope y'all have a wonderful day. Make sure that you keep God first and then secure the bag. I'll see you guys next time. Peace. Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you have enjoyed Godly Mindset Motivation. I try to do this every Tuesday. Sometimes I go live here on YouTube with you guys. Sometimes I just do Instagram, but I'm very glad that you had the opportunity to join me behind the scenes, live and thriving right here today for Godly Mindset Motivation. Hope y'all have a wonderful day. God bless you, and I'll see you next time. Peace.